All right, so we're out at Abraham Lake, and much to my surprise, there's hardly any snow here, which is pretty sweet. It's temperature is not like super cold, but the winds are really strong, and with the wind, it is a bit on the chilly side. But I've been running around quite a bit, chasing ice, and I dropped my sunglasses, and like they're pretty decent pair of sunglasses, and they just went flying across the ice, and I was like, oh no. So I ran probably a good like 100 meters before I caught the darn thing. But yeah, the wind is quite strong, so it'll just whip any light objects that you have. But as far as the conditions are concerned, I mean, this is pretty fantastic. Like, I am just so stoked to be able to catch methane bubbles in the ice in like January. You know, I know that wild ice tends to be really good like late November, early December, when the lakes first start to freeze. But to be able to get this place with like no snow and the entirety of Abraham Lake frozen is super cool. So I'm going to be taking primarily wide angle shots while I'm here, trying to really capture those bubbles. And hopefully my audio is actually being picked up from all this wind. So if you can't tell already, I don't shoot frozen lakes very often. Where I'm from, in British Columbia, we don't typically get temperatures that are cold enough. When it comes to photographing frozen lakes, even just kind of walking on a frozen lake, it's a little bit weird for me because the ice overall feels very thick, but I can't help but just feel a little bit sketched out every time I hear a noise happen. I've kind of an idea of the composition here. It is a little bit cloudy around these bubbles, but this is probably like my favorite little formation of ice bubbles that I've found so far. I could shoot this at f/16, and I could just pretty much get everything in focus in one shot. Or I could shoot it at f/11, have it be a little bit sharper, and do a focus stack of like 2 or 3 shots. Again, shooting pretty wide. Shooting about like 16 millimeters here. And I just want to position the bubbles so that it lines up with that mountain. The hard thing is, though, that the bubbles kind of go out this way, and then there's like almost this foreground element with the bubbles here. A little bit of a challenge to frame, but let's try something like this. I think I'll probably do a mix of f/16 shots and focus bracketing, because to be totally honest, I really hate bracketing shots. Like, at least it's okay when I'm shooting, but like when I go to edit them later, it's a little bit of a pain. Because the thing is, when you come down to Abraham Lake in the wintertime, the whole point is to catch these gorgeous bubbles. So I want to make sure I do that. And we can even go closer, but the closer I go to the bubbles here, the more I'm going to have to focus stack. Even if you don't use the full bracket later, you can either get the exposures or you can get the focus that you want or need for the scene, So I might find later on when I'm editing in post that kind of focusing on that middle area will be fine and get me the details that I need. Okay, I decided to move down a little bit and see if I could find some other compositions. And I found some really nice textures here in the ice. So I'm gonna photograph those textures, see what we get. We still have a bit of light, but probably in about 20 minutes or so, the sun will dip below the mountains and our light will be gone. This is kind of what I'm thinking of over here. Sorry, I can't really see the screen, so hopefully I'm in frame, but it's quite spectacular. I think this will be actually a really nice composition once the sun goes down. But currently, something like this. That is spectacular. So for this shot, because I am shooting into the sun, I'm doing a bracket here, an exposure bracket instead of a focus bracket. But yeah, the textures here are just phenomenal. It's really, really cool. I think even for some like abstract photos, it also look kind of cool. What's also kind of a little bit trippy is you can actually see the water moving underneath the ice. But fortunately, the ground is directly below the ice, so I'm not too worried about it. All these little ice bubbles and everything in here is so cool. It's just amazing, you know? And I've been trying to focus a little bit more on doing some more of these kind of abstract photos recently, because it's so easy to be drawn to all of the, you know, epic wide angle photos. But sometimes, you know, just focusing on those little details can be really quite cool. I'm trying to play around with an idea here while simultaneously marking up my canvas by stepping on everything. Oh, let's go right here. All right, back on the ice. I put on another jacket. It is definitely chilly, especially with the sundown. But I've been kind of waiting it out to shoot sunset and shoot some blue hour. It's only really a little bit of light in the distance for sunset. I'm gonna give it a try though, and see if I can get a little bit of that color. And then we'll just bring it back later. Winnie's making her way out. She's a little sketched out by the ice, but I'm just trying to get her to trust the ice cleats. Because it's quite grippy. We just got some from Canadian Tire, and I forgot my ice spikes at home. But works pretty good. You really need it on the ice. But all the more so, I really wish I had ice skates, because if I had ice skates, oh, it'd be so fun. I don't know how much I trust the ice, because we did have slightly above 0 today without wind. So I don't know how much I trust skating out like too far on the ice, but I did see some people skating earlier, and it looks like just an absolute blast. So I am a little jealous, not gonna lie. Certainly nothing short of spectacular out here. It is really nice when that sun dips below the horizon, because it just kind of brings everything into a similar exposure value, and I think kind of makes it a bit more of an empty canvas, so to speak. But I'm gonna try to head over to where I was before. I think it was like kind of this general area, and shoot a couple of those compositions, because I think out of the spots I explored today, I think the bubbles were the best there. So head over there, take some photos. Gonna catch a little bit of blue hour, and then do the 2-hour drive back to the town of Jasper. All right, so I just want to walk you through this composition here. I've been mostly shooting verticals, but I'm shooting some horizontals. And as the sun has gone below the mountains, I got the tripod out so that I can actually get some clean exposures here and do some focus stacking too. So with both my horizontal shots and vertical shots, I'm of course keeping those bubbles as a main focal ground, as a main focal point in my foreground. Man, cold is making me delirious. And then yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm using a continuous bracket. So I'm focusing on here and then allowing the camera to then focus stack all the way to the background. And so far it's working out pretty good. So I'm gonna take a few photographs like that and then go into blue hour here, wrap it up, and then start heading on back. It's also never a bad idea to just change up your perspective a little bit. So I've extended my tripod legs now and I'm shooting from more of an elevated perspective. And that can be kind of nice because then you see more of the leading lines. You don't have to focus stack as much. And yeah, just changes it up a little bit. You know, you could be in the exact same spot, but then you just change your level either up or down and you can get a whole new composition. I think we're about wrapped up. All the light has faded away, and I think I was able to catch a bit of the pink that was there, like far off in the horizon. But really incredible shoot. I mean, this was kind of the reason that I decided to come out to the Rockies this time in January. But I couldn't really find any updates as to how the ice was doing at Abraham Lake. So to be able to come here and get like pretty much perfect conditions. I mean, you know, of course could have had more colorful skies or whatever, but the ice is like perfect this time of the year. There's no snow. So like there's lots of bubbles to shoot and everything. It was just fantastic. Definitely a memorable shoot. And I'm really stoked that we were able to come out here and just for everything to line up so well. It's really great. Kind of a dream come true. I've always wanted to shoot ice bubbles at Abraham Lake and we finally got it. So anyway, I'm gonna pack up. Got 2 hours back to Jasper, and then tomorrow we're gonna be heading towards Emerald Lake. So basically doing the Icefields Parkway again tomorrow. So we'll see you then, but that'll probably be a different video. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, you want to see more, then make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and we'll see you in the future. Peace out.